You took time off, you slept more, maybe you went on a holiday, and yet you come back and within 3 days, you feel exhausted again. The heaviness, the mental fog, that I just don't feel like doing anything feeling. Friends, what if I told you this is not tiredness? What if everything you have been told about burnout is incomplete? Because today, I'm going to show you what burnout actually is. And this is not from a self-help book. This is from the yogic wisdom that has been tried and tested for thousands of years. And I'm going to give you one simple practice that the modern science has proven that is the single practice that can totally reset your nervous system. Research has now shown that is the most powerful technique to reset your nervous system. We all live in a world that has glorified speed. Wake up early, work harder, sleep less, do more, hustle more, and we all followed the rules, especially the ones that have left their homes and moved to other cities or maybe other countries. They left their families, their cities, their loved ones behind, just in search of a better life and to prove themselves. And in this race of proving ourselves, life constantly gets postponed. Monday simply becomes a means to reach Friday. The present becomes a sacrifice for future. And this is the hustle culture, my friends. And what is the result of this? Research now shows that the kind of stress this hustle culture produces floods our body with stress hormone called as cortisol. Day after day, month after month, our body keeps getting this stress hormone and we subconsciously race ourselves to the burnout. The hormone cortisol is very helpful for animals like tigers for short bursts of danger. But if our body keeps producing it throughout the day, something called as hippocampus constantly shrinks. The part of your brain that is responsible for your memory, keeping you calm and emotionally balanced. So see friends, you're not weak, you're not lazy, your nervous system is overwhelmed. But here is where modern science stops. It just tells you what, and yogic science tells us why. And most importantly, it gives us a way out. In yogic philosophy, everything in this world is either made up of or moves as per 3 qualities of energy. And one of the dominating qualities in the hustle culture is the quality of rajas, the energy of motion, ambition, restlessness. And rajas is not bad. It takes you out of your bed. It makes you think differently. It drives you to build things. But the modern hustle culture has taken rajas and built a religion out of it. More movement, more ambition, more restlessness, always. And here is what yoga tells us. When rajas constantly goes on without rest, without awareness, without pause, it collapses into something called as tamas, the quality of heaviness, inertia, darkness, the inability to move, feel and care. As you can see friends, burnout is not modern. It has always been there. And thousands of years ago, yogis have found this problem. They documented this and they also gave us a solution. The heaviness that you feel when you wake up and you don't want to face the day. That numbness, that nothing excites you anymore. That is tamas. And that is the result of living in rajas for too long and with full speed. But friends, here is a very important thing that we need to understand. Burnout is not a personal failure. It is just energy imbalance. And energy imbalance can be corrected, obviously, with the right practice. Friends, this is where most advice goes completely wrong. You are told, take a break, go to a holiday, sleep more, and you do that. And it helps just for a few days. And then the exhaustion comes back. Why? Because the vacation changes your location, but it doesn't change your energy state. You can lie down on a beach in Bali, but still rehearsing your Monday meeting. Your body is resting, but your nervous system is not. As per yogic science, the restoration only happens in a very deep state of consciousness, also called as Susupti, meaning deep, dreamless sleep. The state where your mind completely withdraws and your prana, your life force, is fully replenished. Modern science calls it slow wave deep sleep. And research shows that people in hustle culture who are constantly doing things, who are constantly living in the state of rajas, are getting almost no deep sleep. You're sleeping, but you're not recovering because the nervous system never truly switches off. So what is the answer? One simple practice that has been followed by yogis for centuries and is now proven by neuroscience. Friends, let me introduce you to Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra meaning yogic sleep. Not sleep as in unconsciousness. Sleep in a state of consciousness and sleep in a deepest state of rest that your nervous system can experience. Here is what happens during Yoga Nidra. You lie down completely still and a gentle voice guides your awareness slowly through different parts of your body, your breath, your sensations. And as you follow without effort, your brain starts to shift from the beta waves everyday thinking to alpha waves of relaxed awareness and then into theta waves, the relaxed state of the borderline between waking and deep sleep. And in this state, something extraordinary happens. Your sympathetic nervous system, responsible for flight and fight mode, finally releases. And your parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for rest and restore, takes over. And your pran, your life force, begins to replenish. And here is the research that blew my mind. A study conducted with Indian Army soldiers, men experiencing extreme burnout, lack of sleep, exhaustion, and trauma, showed that 30 minutes of Yoga Nidra is equivalent to 4 hours of ordinary sleep. Amazing, isn't it? And not because of magic. This is because in that theta state, your parasympathetic nervous system restores your body in a much more faster rate. You're not just resting, you're rebuilding. So how do you do that? It is way simpler than you think, friends. Step number 1, find a quiet space and lie down in Shavasana, flat on your back. Arms slightly away from your body and palms facing up, the receiving mode. And don't use any pillow if possible. And step number 2 is choose a guided Yoga Nidra audio. 20 minutes is enough to begin with. I will attach a link in the description for a guided Yoga Nidra video. And step number 3, close your eyes and follow the guidance. Do nothing else. And if your mind wanders, that is absolutely normal. Simply return gently without any judgment. And step number 4, do not try to sleep. Do not try to stay awake. Just stay there at the borderline. And that's it. That is the practice. But here is something important that I want you to know about consistency. In the first 2 or 3 days, you might fall asleep because your body is still catching up on the rest. It needs rest. So give it that rest. Let it rest. But within a week, you will realize that you don't fall into sleep. But at the same time, you're not awake. You stay at that borderline. And that is where real restoration happens. And friends, many people have now reported that after trying this practice for a week or so, they now feel ready to face the world. They don't feel that heaviness anymore. And this is not because their circumstances changed. This is because their state of energy has changed. From Tamas to being SAJAG, to being aware, the conscious state of energy, where you are fully present and alive. So friends, as you can see, burnout is not a badge of honor. It doesn't even mean that you are hardworking. It simply signals that Rajas has taken over and it is drowning you down into Tamas. And the path back is not pushing harder, but to understand the state of your energy and simply apply this subtle practice to change the state of your energy. And that is what means to be SAJAG, to be conscious, to be aware of your circumstances and apply right practices to change your life. So friends, if you feel like if this video can help someone, please share with them and let's build better lives. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay SAJAG. Namaste.